All right, let's move now to the United Kingdom. And while other countries are putting the rollout of the AstraZeneca vaccine on hold over blood clotting fears, there's a different response from regulators in the United Kingdom. This comes as 24 million doses of two vaccines, AstraZeneca and Pfizer, have already been administered there. We'll talk about this and other headline-making stories from the UK. I'm joined by Ollie Barrett, our correspondent in London. Good evening to you, Ollie. So the AstraZeneca vaccine is on hold in Ireland, Norway, Austria, Italy, Denmark, to name just some of them. Interestingly, though, the vaccine has been taken off hold in Thailand. They say they're now satisfied that it is not a safety concern. We know this vaccine was developed in conjunction with Oxford University. What is the word from the UK regulators on these blood clotting concerns?
Full steam ahead here in the UK. Indeed, the vaccination programme is actually about to accelerate even further here in Britain, partly because of a massive new arrival of Oxford AstraZeneca doses. We've heard from the Prime Minister today, Boris Johnson, saying that all the evidence suggests that this is a safe, effective vaccine. There's no reason to pause the programme here. We've heard from the Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunisation, the JCVI, which makes a lot of the decisions about how vaccines are rolled out in this country. Professor Anthony Harnden is Deputy Chair of the JCVI. He says safety is paramount. We have been monitoring this issue closely, but he points out that Britain's administered 11 million doses of the AstraZeneca jab already, and he says there has been no demonstrable difference in the number of blood clots since the vaccine was introduced. And indeed, that is what the European regulators are saying as well. The EMA, which makes the regulatory decisions for European Union member states, it also says that it's seen no evidence to link any blood clots that have been seen with the vaccine in terms of causality. And the EMA is actually saying at this point that you can continue to use the vaccine and indeed should do so. So some European countries that you mentioned there that have put their programmes on pause are actually at the moment acting against the advice of their own medicines regulator. The EMA, though, has been looking into this issue. It'll be reporting back in some of the detail that it's gathered on Tuesday. It may at that point be that some of those European countries that have put the pause on their programmes for now unpause them again.
Yeah, is there any clarity as to why these countries are particularly concerned? I mean, is there simply nothing in it? You know, reports of blood clotting is a very worrying thing to hear about.
It's a worrying thing to hear about, and the scientists here and the World Health Organization as well are saying just because there are blood clots doesn't mean that that's related in any way to a vaccination that you have received. Indeed, the scientists are saying that actually the number of clots that we're seeing in Europe is at around the same level that you would normally expect in the general population, if not lower. AstraZeneca point out that around 17 million people have been inoculated in the European Union and the UK with their jab, and they say there have been fewer than 40 cases of blood clots. So that's what the drug company is saying. In terms of why some of these European countries are therefore taking this decision, there is bafflement here in the UK at why they're doing so, but what they say is they're taking a precautionary approach to this, and they want to make absolutely sure that there isn't an issue here that needs to be particularly concerning and that needs to be something that European citizens should be worried about. It may also have something to do with the fact that in other European countries, not the UK, there is higher vaccine hesitancy among those populations than we see here in Britain. It may be that the politicians in those countries are reacting to that.
And in other news coming from the UK, there's concern about police behaviour. There was a night vigil held for murdered Sarah Everard, and it turned ugly. It seems that the police moved in trying to break up this night vigil because it wasn't compliant with COVID rules. But now it looks like Police Chief's head might be on the block.
Cressida Dick, yes, the Metropolitan Police Chief here in London. There are calls for her to quit. At the moment, she is saying she won't be going anywhere. She's committed to the force. She wants to make sure that she can work as the police chief for London to make women feel safer. The Prime Minister says he has full confidence in her at the moment, as does the Home Secretary Priti Patel, so she may be safe in her post for the time being. But it certainly wasn't a good look for the Metropolitan Police Force to be seen to be handcuffing and arresting women at a vigil in London over the weekend, which had been peaceful and indeed was for a woman who has been killed, and with a serving Metropolitan Police officer in custody suspected of murder. So this is a very difficult period for London's Metropolitan Police and for Cressida Dick, but for now she appears to be holding on to her post.
Thank you so much, Ollie Barrett, our correspondent, coming to us live from London.